Welcome back to my anime reviews. Basically every week, or I try to every week, try to watch an anime or rewatch an anime and then review for you guys. Now I know I haven't done a review in a while, but that's because I've been scripting a bunch of stuff so that we can do a bunch of stuff. I'll talk about it in an update video later. But for now, let's get straight to the point. Anime like One Piece, Bleach, Fairy Tail, and such will probably not be reviewed, as they would take me way too long to get into the story, so those will be ignored if you ask me to review it. So let's get straight to the main point of this whole video. This anime has a lot on its shoulders. Years of really long Shonen Jump anime and manga come and stay, and enter people's hearts, some easier than others. So if this anime wasn't really good, everyone would be very disappointed. Today's anime is My Hero Academia, or Boku No Hero Academia. There is 13 episodes of the whole season of this anime, and right now Funimation is doing a broadcast dub, which we'll talk about for a bit, but it won't be the whole review. Let's get smashing. Plus ultra! Like usual, I'll only be explaining the most important points of this anime, like the characters, story, settings, relationships, voice acting, animation, music, and their genre, and we always start with the genre here. It's a superhero, science, fantasy, comedy, action, shonen jump anime. Yeah, it's mostly catered to the people who like comic books as well as anime, to try and fuse the genres to get people really into it. It makes a lot of sense, and I'm surprised that not many people have tried to go this route. Now for the setting. The world they live in is pretty different from ours, you know, but at the same time it is still very much the same as well. One day, someone who was born with a special ability, and eventually multiple people start obtaining them. Usually they gain them at a young age, or they learn that they have them at a young age, and they just happened spontaneously out of nowhere, and they started calling these abilities quirks. And eventually quirks became commonplace, to the point where if you didn't have one, you were the weird person in the group. That's when crime started getting really big, and that's when people who would call themselves heroes would go out and defeat the villains who were abusing these quirks that they had. And eventually it became so big, and the market became so big, that the government had them become government officers, civil officers, to work for them, to be government official heroes to defeat these villains. And yeah, these quirks come from they can be anything, to controlling fire, to wind, all that kind of random shit. It's basically, it can be anything you can think of. It's very comic booky, with that Japanese flair of there being a problem with it still, so it's not too OP, so it's actually interesting to watch still. Now for the characters, there's a lot of characters I would cover, but I'll only be covering about 3 of them, since it makes things easier on my end. So first is Izuku Midoriya, a dorky kid who loves heroes and quirks, so much that every time he sees one, or sees someone use one, or like a hero or a villain, he jots them down, looks for its strengths and weaknesses, and studies them. And yet sadly, he doesn't have a quirk of his own. He has no quirk whatsoever, and is treated poorly by his peers, especially when his dorky look, his nerdy habits, he has stutter of some sort, his lack of self-confidence, it all makes him a really easy target. He idolizes the legendary #1 hero known as All Might, as he can save anyone with his almighty strength and skill, and he can take out any villain without breaking a sweat. He is the biggest reason why Izuku still wants to become a hero, even though he does not have a quirk. Second is All Might, the #1 hero of the world right now, as well as the symbol of peace for the world. His design is obviously based off of how American comic books creators, they over-exaggerate the look of superheroes, kind of like Superman, you know, ultimate muscles and shit, kind of gross looking, you know what I mean? He's a really nice guy who tries to save everyone and anyone he can, and if he finds someone in trouble, he'll always drop everything to do it, to save someone. His quirk is literally superhuman strength. Third is Katsuki Bakugo. He's a cock. A real damn cock. But he is a great cock. He thinks he's stronger than anyone else, and that no one can beat him at anything. While growing up, he was treated with greatness and a lot of praise because his quirk is really good and really strong, so he became really cocky because of it, and his parents they even acknowledge it as well. It also doesn't help when he's actually smart, strong, good at tactics too, that is, when he doesn't lose his anger, or when he doesn't lose his cool and gets angry, which happens a lot since he has a very short temper. He was once childhood friends with Izuku, but now he treats him like he's a piece of shit because he has no quirk, frequently calling him Deku, which is supposed to be demeaning. I think it's something to mix, like, idiot in his name. Like, I think if you change some of the letters in Izuku, it changes to Deku, and it's supposed to mean idiot of some sort. I think that's how it works. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, he also drives to become the #1 hero, like Izuku, but looks a lot more like a villain. His quirk is that his body sweats nitroglycerin that he ignites to create explosions with. Yeah, it's really weird. Now for the story. Izuku is a dork with no quirk, but still wants to become a hero, like his idol, All Might. And even though he has no quirk, he deals with what life gives him, and is trying to, like, enter what is called UA, which is an elite academy for high school students to become professional heroes by the government. Of course, Bakugo treats him like shit, and tells him it'll never happen. But that all changed when Izuku met All Might for the first time. Something's happened, and after Izuku proves himself to have the will of a hero, even if he doesn't have a quirk, All Might takes him under his wing and grants him a quirk, his own. Izuku then inherits All Might's quirk known as All for One, but must keep it a secret since villains would go after him for it, and Izuku can't really control it yet. And All Might slowly is losing his ability because of it, because after he transfers his quirk to Izuku, All Might still has it, but it's weakening as Izuku gains more control over it. And now All Might is attending the school UA as a teacher, and Izuku eventually gets into the school, and now it's just the adventures of his friends, his rivals, and the villains he comes across while he attends this elite high school. Now for the animations. They were really, really good. Instead of going for that Shonen Jump style many other Shonen Jump anime have, like One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto, and many others, it gets more of a modern route with animations you'd expect at this day and age that are really good, while also having its own feeling of uniqueness when the battles are going on, or when Izuku uses his quirk. It feels really fresh, like a shonen anime should feel. Now for the voice actors, I liked them. I thought these voice actors were actually super memorable, and some were actually pretty famous voice actors. Like how Bakugo's voice actor is accelerated from a certain mental index, which is probably why I like his character so much, since he kinda is like Accelerator in a lot of ways. But anyway, I really liked them. Now for the music. The opening and ending theme were freaking amazing. The Day by Pornograffiti is really damn good, and yes, that is their band name. And the song known as Heroes, which is the ending theme by Brian the Sun, which is that's their band name, is really beautiful, and the background music is super damn hype. It makes you feel like a superhero story should feel. It makes you feel super hyped, full of hype, full of hope, something a lot of anime don't end up having, unless you're Naruto, which has a lot of it. The soundtrack is totally worth just diving into to listen to for a good long time. Now, before we move on, let's quickly talk about the Funimation broadcast dub. I've only seen about 2 of the episodes from the first season as of this video being edited and uploaded and recorded and all that such, and I don't really plan on seeing any more of it, honestly. The voice actors don't seem that good or really fit the characters they played to me. This won't be affecting the score at all, though. Now, for a rating part of these reviews, as a rating, I'll split it up into 5 different categories: the voice acting, animation, story, characters, and overall enjoyability, and we always start with the voice acting here. It's gonna be 20 out of 20. The voice acting is on point. Amazing choices for voice actors who fit who they played well and were very memorable voices. They made me feel like this show was somewhat authentic, as if these kids were real kids dealing with these real struggles that would be real to them because they're kids in their own world, and that's an amazingly difficult thing to do sometimes. Animations 20 out of 20. This show's animations fit what modern shonen anime should look like in its entirety. The old look of shonen anime fits the old, but with animation style growing and evolving every day, we should embrace the new and its bright and colorful, sleek look. These animations make you feel as if you yourself are the children in this show who are living this amazing life that would never exist in real life. And that's what a shonen anime is all about. Making you feel as if you, the viewer, is part of the series where you can disconnect yourself from the real life, the boring, stupid real life, and enjoy some really cool, amazing superhero story fantasy. Story 20 out of 20. The story and the idea of the whole idea of the story and the show are both amazing. My problem is that the way the show flows is kinda, well, slow. I read the manga, okay? And I'll just say this, the anime sometimes stretches chapters a bit too much. Like, maybe one chapter will be a whole episode. The first 2 episodes are literally the first chapter of the whole anime, which I felt like they could have made into one big episode, or just one episode entirely. It wouldn't have been that hard. And episode 5 is literally one whole chapter as well, but it could have been made into just a half an episode, to be honest. But it wasn't bad. It was executed the way it was executed okay. I just felt like they didn't need to stretch shit too much like they did, which is why I was confused on how they would end the season, since in the manga there's not a really good area they could have ended, but somehow they didn't, and I wasn't too impressed, but they did it somehow. Characters 15 out of 20. The main characters were great, and the side characters were great too. Sadly, I could care less about every single villain we saw this season. Why? Because we know nothing about them. And some may say that it's unfair to judge since we know nothing about their motives, and maybe the villains that we were shown weren't the main villains of the series, but it doesn't change the fact that at this current time, there's no real reason for me to like these villains. A real villain is a villain who has a reason to be a villain, or is so evil that after only one situation, he turns to the dark side without a blink of the eye. These villains look real wishy-washy, and they don't have confidence in the slightest, and that's really bad. Please, make the villains better. Please. Enjoyability 20 out of 20. This show was fun to watch. Despite dragging on a little bit, despite the shitty villains, it is really fun to watch. And I think it's actually on par with the shonen anime like Naruto and One Piece we have. And I feel like it has the potential to be even better and attract a bigger audience, since it caters to the Japanese anime fans and manga fans, as well as the comic book superhero fans. And with the second season already announced and is in production, we might not have to wait too long, which I'm really happy about. Overall score, 92 out of 100, 92%. Get better villains, and you've got yourself a really good shonen anime. An A grade for this anime. I hope you enjoyed the video. In the description there should be a link to watch it free on Funimation. I think a few of the episodes are free. I think the rest of them you're going to have to go and get the subscription for Funimation. But support the official release. Please and thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Stop and lift me out. See you guys next time.